mid-flight on its way to the North Pole. Even if I can stay up all night, I will get this camera set and... Oh my gosh. Did you see that? Is that on film? Did you see that? Honey! It flew!
The magical allure of Santa's elves has captured the imagination of children and adults alike for centuries. These industrious, mischievous, and utterly endearing helpers of Santa Claus are often portrayed as the unseen force behind the Christmas spirit. But every now and then, stories emerge of these enigmatic beings being caught on camera. Whether through modern surveillance technology, accidental discoveries, or the sheer whimsy of the season, these sightings offer a fascinating glimpse into a world often relegated to the realm of fantasy. Here are 15 such instances where Santa's elves seemingly left their mark in our world. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The first recorded instance occurred in a quaint village in northern Finland, a stone's throw from the Arctic Circle. Here, in a sleepy town often blanketed by heavy snow, a family decided to set up a state-of-the-art home surveillance system. Their intention was practical. They had heard rumors of wild animals raiding nearby homes in search of food. What the cameras captured, however, was far from ordinary. On Christmas Eve, the family decided to review the footage while sipping hot cocoa by the fire. At first, everything seemed normal. The snow fell steadily, and the gentle wind whispered through the pines. Then, a sudden burst of movement caught their attention. The grainy, night vision footage revealed a small figure darting through the snow. Standing no more than feet tall, it had an exaggeratedly pointed hat and nimble movements that seemed almost otherworldly. It paused briefly by the window, peering inside, before dashing off toward the nearby forest. The family was initially skeptical, thinking it might be a mischievous child playing pranks. But the figure's agility and the distinct sparkle in its wake were unlike anything they'd ever seen. Experts who later examined the footage could neither confirm nor debunk its authenticity. The town, however, embraced the mystery, erecting a small statue near the family's home to commemorate the sighting. Locals began referring to the area as Elf Lane, and tourists now visit in hopes of catching a glimpse of the elusive creature. The second account comes from a bustling urban environment, an unexpected place for an elf to make an appearance. In the heart of New York City, a toy store in Manhattan became the unlikely setting for another alleged elf sighting. It was December 20th, and the store was packed with holiday shoppers. Among the chaos, a sharp-eyed employee noticed something peculiar on the store's CCTV monitors. The footage showed a shadowy figure weaving through the aisles of the store after closing hours. At first glance, it resembled a child, but closer inspection revealed disproportionate features: an oversized head topped with a floppy hat, pointed shoes that left faint impressions in the carpet, and an uncanny speed that seemed too fluid for a human. The elf moved with purpose, pausing by certain shelves and seemingly inspecting the toys. Oddly enough, when employees checked the store the next morning, they found several items rearranged but none missing. The store owner decided to release a portion of the footage online, sparking a media frenzy. Children flocked to the store hoping to meet the mysterious visitor, while skeptics argued that it was a publicity stunt. Yet those who viewed the unedited tape were struck by one peculiar detail. The figure occasionally glanced up at the camera as though fully aware it was being watched. The expression, though fleeting, seemed to convey a mischievous glee. While some dismissed it as a clever hoax, the store's reputation as a magical place only grew. To this day, many believe the elf was checking the toys for quality assurance, fulfilling its duties as one of Santa's helpers. The third and perhaps most compelling instance unfolded in rural Ireland, where folklore surrounding elves and fairies runs deep. A young girl named Maeve had long believed in the magic of Christmas. Her father, wanting to preserve her sense of wonder, decided to set up a small camera by the fireplace to prove Santa's visit. On Christmas morning, Maeve excitedly reviewed the footage with her family, expecting to see the familiar figure of Santa Claus. What they saw instead left them speechless. The recording showed a faint glow emanating from the fireplace around midnight. Seconds later, a tiny figure emerged, no taller than a garden gnome, with a face that seemed both ancient and youthful. Its attire was vibrant, with a green tunic adorned with golden trim, and it carried a pouch that jingled faintly as it moved. The elf surveyed the room, inspecting the stockings and nibbling on a cookie left out for Santa. At one point, it paused to examine the camera itself, tilting its head curiously before vanishing in a twinkling burst of light. Word of the footage spread quickly through the village. While many were convinced it was genuine, skeptics suggested it was an elaborate digital creation. Maeve's father, however, maintained that he lacked the technical expertise to create such a thing. The footage was later analyzed by video experts, who could neither confirm nor deny its authenticity. Meanwhile, Maeve became something of a local celebrity, sharing her story with classmates and reporters alike. The incident reignited interest in Ireland's rich folklore, with many suggesting that the elf's appearance was a nod to the country's deep connection to the magical world. The mystery surrounding Santa's elves continues to deepen with each new story of their supposed appearances. Over the years, more people have come forward with tales and evidence of these elusive helpers, captured by cameras in unlikely places. Here are additional instances where these magical beings have been caught on camera, each one bringing its own sense of enchantment and intrigue. In a sleepy mountain town in Colorado, an avid wildlife enthusiast named Greg decided to set up motion-activated cameras in the dense forest behind his home. His goal was to capture images of deer, foxes, and perhaps even the occasional bear, but what he discovered on Christmas morning was something far more extraordinary. As Greg reviewed the footage, he noticed a strange clip taken just before midnight. The camera had picked up a small, luminous figure darting between the trees. Its movement was quick and erratic, unlike any animal Greg had seen. Zooming in on the footage revealed a diminutive figure with a pointed hat, striped stockings, and what appeared to be a sack slung over its shoulder. The elf moved with an energy that seemed almost magical, pausing occasionally to examine the snow-covered ground before disappearing behind a tree. Curious about the discovery, Greg decided to investigate the area the next day. To his astonishment, he found tiny footprints in the snow, far too small to belong to any child or animal. Even stranger, there were faint sparkles scattered around the footprints, as though the figure had left a trail of stardust in its wake. Greg shared the footage and his findings with the local community, sparking a wave of excitement. Some residents believed the elf was scouting the area for Santa, ensuring all was ready for Christmas Eve. Skeptics dismissed the sighting as a clever prank, but Greg remained adamant that what he captured was authentic, and the town has since embraced its reputation as a potential stopping point for Santa's helpers. The next sighting took place in an entirely different environment, the bustling, sun-soaked beaches of Sydney, Australia. A family had decided to spend their Christmas holiday camping by the shore, enjoying the warm weather and festive spirit. On Christmas Eve, they set up a camera near their campsite to record the beautiful view of the ocean under the moonlight. What they ended up capturing was something they could hardly believe. Around 2 a.m., the footage showed a small figure emerging from the shadows near their tent. Barefoot and dressed in a red and green outfit that shimmered faintly under the moonlight, the elf-like creature moved with a peculiar grace. It appeared to be examining a pile of presents left outside the tent, picking up a small box and shaking it curiously before placing it back down. The elf then glanced directly at the camera, its eyes twinkling mischievously, before darting off toward the dunes. When the family reviewed the footage the next morning, they were stunned. No footprints or other physical evidence remained in the sand, leading some to speculate that the creature had some magical ability to erase its tracks. Local folklore enthusiasts suggested that elves might occasionally venture to warmer climates to assist Santa with deliveries in less traditional settings. The family's video quickly went viral, with viewers around the world debating its authenticity. Regardless of the skeptics, the footage brought a sense of whimsy and joy to all who watched it, further fueling the belief in Santa's helpers. Perhaps the most baffling account occurred in the high-tech surroundings of Tokyo, Japan, a city known for its dazzling lights and cutting-edge technology. On Christmas Eve, a group of engineers working late at an office building in Shibuya decided to test a new AI-powered security camera system designed to detect intruders. The system flagged an anomaly just after midnight, prompting the engineers to review the footage. What they saw defied explanation. A tiny figure, barely 2 feet tall, appeared to be climbing up a staircase inside the building. Dressed in an elaborate outfit complete with a shining belt and a jaunty hat, the figure moved with surprising speed and dexterity. At one point, the elf paused to examine a desk, picking up a small trinket before placing it back exactly as it was. The security system's AI labeled the figure as unknown, and no other movement was detected in the building for the rest of the night. What made this sighting particularly fascinating was the camera's advanced capabilities. The engineers analyzed the footage frame by frame and could not detect any signs of tampering or manipulation. Even the figure's shadow and reflections on the highly polished floors appeared consistent with the lighting in the room. This led to wild speculation among the engineers. some of whom joked that their office had been visited by one of Santa's quality control inspectors. The footage became a sensation online, with many praising the engineers for capturing what seemed to be undeniable proof of an elf's existence. These additional stories served to expand the mythos of Santa's elves, showcasing their ability to appear in the most unexpected places and circumstances. From the snowy forests of Colorado to the sandy beaches of Australia and the futuristic offices of Tokyo, these magical beings continue to leave traces of their presence, reminding us of the boundless wonder that surrounds the holiday season. Whether you find yourself in a remote wilderness, a bustling city, or somewhere in between, you might just be lucky enough to witness the magic for yourself. The enduring mystery of Santa's elves deepens with yet more accounts of their extraordinary appearances captured on camera. These magical beings seem to defy logic, slipping into our world in fleeting moments that leave behind wonder, intrigue, and, for the fortunate few who witness them, unforgettable memories. Here are more remarkable instances where these elusive helpers of Christmas were seemingly caught on camera, sparking fresh waves of enchantment. In the dense woods of Bavaria, Germany, a pair of hikers inadvertently stumbled upon a scene that has since become a local legend. The two friends had set out for a Christmas Eve trek, equipped with a GoPro to document the pristine winter landscape. As they navigated a secluded trail deep within the forest, their camera captured something that neither of them noticed in real time. Upon reviewing the footage later that evening, the hikers were stunned to see a small animated figure moving swiftly between the trees. Barely visible at first, the elf-like creature became clearer as the footage was slowed down. It appeared to be wearing a deep green outfit with silver accents, blending seamlessly with its surroundings. Its movements were almost playful, as though it were aware of the camera, but chose to remain just out of focus. The hikers returned to the spot the following day, searching for any signs of the figure. To their amazement, they found a tiny, intricately carved wooden figurine resting on a rock near where the elf had been spotted. The figurine bore an uncanny resemblance to the figure in their video, down to its pointed ears and cheerful expression. Word spread quickly, and the area has since become a popular destination for those hoping to glimpse a similar sight. Locals believe that the figurine was a token of acknowledgement from the elf, a symbol of gratitude, or perhaps a gentle warning to respect the forest's magic. The next sighting took place in a snowy Canadian village, known for its breathtaking Christmas markets and cozy, lantern-lit streets. During the holiday season, a small bakery installed a live streaming camera to showcase their festive window display, which featured an elaborate gingerbread house surrounded by twinkling lights. One night, as viewers tuned in to admire the display, something extraordinary occurred. At precisely 11:47 p.m., a tiny figure emerged from the edge of the frame. Dressed in bright red with golden trim, the elf appeared to be inspecting the gingerbread house. It leaned in, seemingly sniffing the sugary structure, before reaching out to adjust one of the tiny candy canes adorning the roof. The elf's movements were quick and deliberate, as though it had a clear purpose. After a brief glance at the camera, it gave a jaunty wave before vanishing from sight. The bakery owners were flooded with messages from viewers who had witnessed the event live. Many assumed it was an intentional holiday stunt, but the owners insisted they had no knowledge of the elf's appearance. The footage was later analyzed and found to be free of any editing or manipulation, further deepening the mystery. Some suggested that the elf was ensuring the gingerbread house met Santa's high standards for Christmas cheer, while others believed it was simply enjoying a moment of holiday indulgence. Whatever the explanation, the sighting brought a surge of visitors to the bakery, all eager to see if the elf would return. One of the most peculiar accounts of an elf sighting took place aboard a ship sailing through the icy waters of the North Atlantic. A crew of sailors delivering goods to a remote northern community had decorated their vessel with Christmas lights and ornaments to keep their spirits high during the long, cold journey. One of the crew members set up a camera on the deck to capture the ship's festive glow against the starry night sky. When the crew reviewed the footage the next morning, they noticed something extraordinary. A tiny figure no more than 2 feet tall was seen climbing one of the ship's rigging ropes. Dressed in a shimmering blue outfit that reflected the lights around it, the elf appeared to be examining the decorations strung across the mast. At one point, it paused to admire a particularly bright ornament, its expression a mix of curiosity and delight. After a few moments, the elf glanced toward the camera and gave a quick nod before disappearing into the shadows. The crew, initially skeptical, scoured the ship for any signs of the mysterious visitor. They found nothing, save for a single snowflake-shaped charm dangling from one of the ropes, something none of them remembered placing there. News of the sighting quickly spread, and maritime folklore enthusiasts speculated that the elf might have been ensuring the ship's decorations were in line with Santa's standards for spreading Christmas joy. These tales, each more captivating than the last, continue to build on the rich tapestry of folklore surrounding Santa's elves. From the forests of Bavaria to a Canadian bakery and even the open sea, these magical beings seem to possess an uncanny ability to appear in the most unexpected places. Their brief but impactful visits remind us of the wonder and mystery that make the holiday season so enchanting. As cameras become more ubiquitous, who knows how many more glimpses of their world we might one day capture? The enduring allure of Santa's elves grows stronger with every reported sighting, fueling imaginations and sparking debates about the intersection of the magical and the mundane. As cameras become increasingly sophisticated and wide, these elusive helpers of Santa have been spotted in the most unexpected circumstances. Here are more remarkable instances of elves caught on camera, each steeped in its own unique charm and mystery. In a picturesque village nestled in the Scottish Highlands, a group of school children inadvertently captured what is believed to be an elf during a Christmas Eve class project. The children were tasked with creating a festive documentary about their town, complete with shots of the surrounding hills, snowy streets, and twinkling lights. Armed with a simple handheld camera, the group filmed late into the evening, weaving through the town square and its towering Christmas tree. When reviewing their footage the next day, one of the children spotted something extraordinary in a brief scene near the tree. A tiny figure, cloaked in a deep burgundy outfit with gold embroidery, could be seen peeking out from behind a cluster of gift boxes at the base of the tree. The elf appeared to observe the children before quickly darting out of sight. Its movements were so fluid and swift that none of them had noticed it during filming. When the children showed the footage to their teacher, the story quickly spread through the village, creating a buzz of excitement. Locals speculated that the elf might have been checking the tree to ensure it was a fitting centerpiece for the holiday celebrations. Despite its brevity, the footage became a cherished piece of local lore, and the Christmas tree in the square is now lovingly referred to as Elf's Watch. The next sighting occurred on a snowy farm in the remote outskirts of Minnesota. A family had recently installed a trail camera near their barn to monitor nocturnal activity, as they had been losing small amounts of feed to animals during the night. On Christmas Eve, the camera recorded something far stranger than the raccoons and foxes they had expected. The footage, taken in the dim light of a full moon, showed a diminutive figure dressed in a patchwork of bright colors sneaking into the barn. The elf appeared to carry a small lantern, which emitted a faint, warm glow that illuminated its path. Inside the barn, it seemed to inspect the hay bales and livestock, even patting one of the cows on the nose. The most striking moment came when the elf paused by a large sack of feed, reached inside and pulled out what looked like a small golden trinket, leaving it behind as if in exchange. The family, bewildered and fascinated, discovered the trinket the next morning, a perfectly formed miniature bell etched with intricate designs. Though they couldn't explain the elf's motives, they decided to keep the bell as a Christmas keepsake. The story spread quickly, and while skeptics dismissed it as a cleverly orchestrated hoax, others marveled at the idea that the elf might have been repaying the family for the resources it had borrowed. On Christmas Eve, as the mall staff prepared to close for the night, the live feed captured an unusual event. A small figure appeared in the frame, stepping cautiously out from behind a giant candy cane prop. The elf, dressed in bright green with silver accents, moved through the grotto with a sense of purpose, pausing to adjust a garland and reposition a stray ornament. It seemed completely unbothered by the cameras, as if unaware of or indifferent to its presence. The most remarkable part came when the elf paused in front of Santa's chair, where a large sack of presents had been placed. It rummaged briefly inside, pulling out a gift and inspecting it carefully before nodding in apparent satisfaction. The elf then disappeared into the shadows, leaving the scene as quickly as it had arrived. Mall staff who reviewed the footage were divided in their reaction. Some believed it to be a mischievous prank orchestrated by a coworker, while others were convinced they had witnessed something magical. The live feed's viewers, however, were enchanted, sharing the clip widely and hailing it as proof that Santa's helpers are not confined to snowy forests or secluded locations. They might even check in on modern Christmas displays to ensure everything meets their high standards. In the heart of Iceland, where folklore about elves and hidden people runs deep, one of the most remarkable sightings occurred in a remote village near the base of a glacier. A group of geology students had set up cameras to monitor the movements of the glacier during the winter months, hoping to capture time-lapse footage of its shifts and flows. What their cameras recorded instead was a sight that none of them could have anticipated. On a particularly clear Christmas Eve night, a small figure appeared on the edge of the glacier, standing out against the icy expanse. The footage showed the elf clad in a pale blue cloak trimmed with fur, blending harmoniously with the frosty landscape. The figure moved with astonishing grace across the icy surface, seemingly unaffected by the treacherous conditions. At one point, the elf paused, crouched down, and appeared to sprinkle something from its hands into a crevice in the glacier. Moments later, a soft, sparkling light emanated from the spot before the elf vanished into the shadows of the ice. The students, initially skeptical of their own findings, returned to the site the next day. While they found no obvious footprints, they did notice an unusual patch of glistening ice where the elf had been seen. It sparkled in the sunlight, as if infused with something magical. Locals speculated that the elf might have been performing a traditional blessing, an ancient gesture of harmony between the magical and natural world. The footage remains a source of fascination and pride for the village, further intertwining Iceland's rich folklore with the Christmas season. The second sighting took place in a bustling ski resort in the Swiss Alps, where vacationers were enjoying the peak of the holiday season. A young couple staying in a cozy chalet decided to set up their camera to record the picturesque snowfall from their balcony. What they captured on Christmas morning, however, was far more than a scenic winter wonderland. At dawn, the camera picked up a tiny figure emerging from the nearby tree line. The elf was dressed in a snug outfit of red and white, with tiny snow boots that left faint tracks in the powder. It carried a small satchel and appeared to be gathering something from the snow. Small twigs, berries, and even a stray pine cone. After completing its task, the elf paused to look directly at the camera, almost as if acknowledging the couple's presence. With a quick nod and a wave, it disappeared back into the trees. When the couple examined the snow later that day, they discovered the elf's tracks leading to a hollow in the tree line. Inside, they found a small arrangement of the gathered items placed neatly in what looked like a natural wreath. The couple chose to leave the site undisturbed, believing the elf had been creating a decoration or perhaps an offering for the season. The footage quickly gained attention online, with many viewers marveling at the idea that elves might celebrate Christmas in their own unique way, even in the hidden corners of the world. The third sighting unfolded in a quiet New England library, a surprising location for such a magical encounter. The library, housed in a historic stone building, had gone all out for the holidays, decorating its reading rooms with garlands, candles, and a towering Christmas tree. The librarians, eager to preserve the festive spirit, set up a hidden camera to capture visitors' reactions to the decor. On Christmas Eve, after the library had closed for the night, the camera recorded something extraordinary. A tiny figure emerged from the shadows near the Christmas tree, dressed in muted tones of green and brown that seemed almost camouflaged against the warm wood-paneled walls. The elf carried a small scroll and appeared to be examining the ornaments on the tree. At one point, it unrolled the scroll and appeared to take notes, glancing up at the tree as if evaluating its decorations. After a few moments, the elf returned the scroll to its pouch and disappeared into the shadows as silently as it had come. The librarians discovered the footage the next morning and were both thrilled and bewildered by what they saw. They inspected the tree and found nothing amiss. If anything, the decorations seemed even more perfectly arranged than before. Some speculated that the elf might have been performing an inspection on Santa's behalf, ensuring that the library was up to par with the Christmas spirit. The footage became a local sensation, and the library has since made its Christmas tree a centerpiece of the town's holiday celebrations, often leaving a small scroll near its base in case the elf should ever return. These extraordinary tales add further depth to the legend of Santa's elves, showing their presence in a dazzling variety of settings, from icy glaciers to alpine resorts and even cozy libraries. Each sighting carries with it a sense of wonder and a reminder of the magic that surrounds Christmas, urging us to look closer at the world around us and cherish the small, extraordinary moments that make the season so special. The stories of Santa's elves being caught on camera continue to weave an enchanting tapestry of mystery, wonder, and holiday magic. Across the globe, in settings as varied as snowy forests, bustling urban centers, remote glaciers, and cozy homes, these magical beings have left their mark. These 15 sightings offer glimpses into a hidden world that fuels the imagination of believers and skeptics alike, reminding us of the enduring allure of Christmas and the possibility of the extraordinary. Each account is unique, yet they all share a sense of fleeting magic, as though the elves exist just on the edge of our reality, slipping into view when we least expect it. In Finland, the elf who darted through the snow under the watchful eye of a family's surveillance camera captured the spirit of Christmas mischief. Similarly, in Manhattan's toy store, the elf's purposeful inspection of the shelves added a layer of whimsy to the holiday rush. These instances highlight the elves' playful nature and their connection to the magic of the season, even in the modern world. In rural settings, these sightings often carry an air of quiet reverence. On a Minnesota farm, the elf who left a golden bell in exchange for feed captured hearts and stirred imagination. Meanwhile, in the forests of Colorado and Bavaria, their appearances seemed to blend seamlessly with nature, as if these environments were natural sanctuaries for Santa's helpers. The Icelandic glacier sighting, perhaps the most mystical of all, evoked ancient traditions and folklore, suggesting that these beings are not only helpers of Santa, but custodians of a deeper magic that transcends Christmas. Urban sightings like those in New York, Tokyo, and suburban malls bring a different kind of thrill. The idea that elves could navigate through the modern trappings of human life, inspecting toys, adjusting decorations, or even using cutting-edge security systems, blurs the lines between tradition and technology. These encounters suggest that the magic of Santa's workshop is not confined to the North Pole, but is adaptable and omnipresent, quietly interwoven into our everyday lives. The whimsical details of these encounters, the sparkle of footprints in the snow, the twinkle in an elf's eyes as it waves at the camera, or the mysterious items left behind, only deepen the intrigue. Whether they're adjusting Christmas trees in Scottish villages, creating wreaths in Swiss resorts, or inspecting libraries in New England, these elves seem to possess a profound commitment to the holiday spirit. Their actions, though brief and subtle, carry a clear message. Christmas magic is alive and thriving, even in the smallest and quietest of gestures. While skeptics may argue that these sightings are merely clever hoaxes or misinterpretations, the joy they bring is undeniable. These stories inspire belief not just in the existence of Santa's elves, but in the boundless wonder of the holiday season. They remind us that sometimes the most extraordinary things happen when we allow ourselves to see the world through the eyes of a child. Perhaps the next time you glance at your decorations or hear the rustle of leaves in the night, you'll wonder, could one of Santa's elves be nearby, spreading their magic and ensuring the spirit of Christmas remains strong? With 15 extraordinary sightings already, who knows what other surprises await? If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Santa's elves being caught on camera? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.